ChowDownChou or random gaming, depending on what you're watching.
All right, welcome to another episode of ChowDownChou. Now we got Maaz joining us all the way from Florida in a room full of cat shit. Say hi to everyone.
Hi, Chow Wows. What do you call your fan? What do you call your fan base?
I don't have that many fans. You're basically
what would you call them?
You're asking me to come up with a name for like my mom and my two high school friends. It's not fair.
Hey, listen, some of your videos are getting 21, 30 views.
Oh, wow.
There's some people that are watching your videos that,
I
you
know.
don't even recognize them.
I know, trolls. The other day I uploaded a game video. I got a comment. It was for like sexymatures.com. And I was like, okay, yeah, thanks so much. I don't know what you're doing.
You get it? Oh my God, you get it?
Like,
View
okay.
botted. Listen, view botting, bad
Yes.
shit to do. But
I know.
when you're starting out, ain't nothing wrong with it.
I know. And I got to consult you for that. I'm sure you got some connects.
Are you asking me about view botting? I know nothing about view botting,
okay.
dude.
Okay,
And for my future streaming careers, I've never once view botted.
Okay. Well, we should stream sometime, though. I stream Warzone sometime. Should hop
My
on
computer
Warzone.
probably can't handle that just yet. Right now, I'm still playing on my laptop.
Yeah, you can join my party, and you'll be in my stream.
I've been telling you such good gaming content to stream. Like, as a person that's an avid watcher of YouTube gaming for the last, 10 plus years of my life, I know I know most of the trends that happen when it comes to, gaming, or at least in the gaming culture or the gaming scene, except for Roblox. I don't touch Roblox.
Roblox? Dude,
that's the one area that I can't understand.
I just started playing The Last of Us Part 2, so
I saw that. I was watching your playthroughs.
Yeah.
Use a little bit more dynamic expressions.
I know, definitely. I get too invested in the game, and then I forget that you're supposed to make it entertaining. It takes time. It takes practice. It's not as easy as it looks, because you're trying to play the game, and usually I don't talk when I'm playing the game because I get real. Some people they have a lot of stuff going on. They shout and stuff. I don't really do that, so I gotta turn myself to 11.
Do you have shit on your feet?
Dude, show the cat. Show the cat. I want to see the cat.
Gingy, no, you put shit on me. Okay, this is Gingy. He's the older one.
He's so big.
Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry about this.
No problem.
Gingy, you're being kicked out because you fucking shadowed. Well, I have some cleaning up to do after this, which is not going to be great.
That's fine. You got nothing else to do anyways.
It's like getting in my throat. It's disgusting, man. It's so disgusting.
Oh, dude. All right. Well, I want to check in with you because you're in Florida, and I was watching the news the other day, and it was saying how Florida's basically done. It's basically and there's no hope left. And who's the governor of Florida? I saw him on the news.
It should be DeSantis, I think.
Yeah, dude. He looks so stupid. The way
I try not to get very political in my lifestyle.
Yes.
There are certain moments though. I'm still an avid supporter of a lot of social progressive movements.
Yes.
I support Black Lives Matter. I support the LGBTQ plus community. For me, I support immigrants, DACA. And so I do my best to do support them in ways that I can or that's feasible for me.
Yeah.
But man, sometimes when I just listen to some of these senators or these governors or some representative or somebody in the political hemisphere just talk about some of the most current events like Corona or immigration, I'm like, dude, holy shit. Somebody a group of people really decided that this person is fit to lead our state, our local government, or our country, whatever it is. Like
it's
people
crazy.
made that willing choice, and
Yeah.
to this day they still support that choice, which is it's the most shocking thing to me ever.
Well, how is it like being in Florida? Like, is it serious? Are people going now? Like, how's the atmosphere like?
It's kind of like all over the place, I think.
Okay.
So like I think there are people that are very serious about Corona in Florida. But at the same time, a majority of the people I believe aren't. I know kids that I went to high school with, and they go to the university nearby. Like I know them, and I have them on Snap. And then I'm not gonna say anybody's name, but like I sometimes see their stories, right? And I saw one person's story. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm at the bar," and he like shows the bar scene behind him, and I'm look at it, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" Nobody was wearing a single mask, and that bar was packed.
Dude.
And I'm just thinking to myself, like, listen, being able to go out like is nice. I get that. It's like a privilege that while we were on the lower end of I guess COVID-19 cases, it was a nice privilege to have.
Yeah.
For like kind of like a reward for like trying our best to limit the cases, but just because they open it back up doesn't mean you come stomping like a fucking stampede into the bars and restaurants. Because man, you never know who has it. Like you could be in quarantine and have it.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
still not know if like if you're like really like symptoms don't develop as easily or as early on in some cases, so you can't even know.
I don't get the I don't get the mindset of these people. Like, why wouldn't you wear a mask and go to a crowded bar? Like, are you trying to get it? Like, what? It's trying to protect. Like, you're trying to protect yourself at the very least, right?
Yeah, it's like it's very weird because people like the one thing that I know I've realized while I've been in this country, like born and raised here too, so I can't really speak from like a perspective from outside the country. But one thing that I've seen quite often is that in this country, when like laws or rules or some sort of change happens that affects somebody's personal lifestyle, they like if it's negative, they do their best to maintain that status quo or whatever life they're living, instead of like kind of either welcoming change or like trying to go along with the situation as it is. Some people like in COVID, right? People, I know that same person that I know that's going out to the bars now, right, and is on his story. Before COVID, like he was going out to the bar like 3-4 times a week, every week with like some of his buddies, and I'm like, okay, that's chill at all. But then when the virus came out, like you got to realize that your lifestyle is going to be limited, you know, and you should make preparations for that. If you can't make preparations, at least start changing your mentality. Like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't go to the bar every week, multiple times. Like maybe even once a week. Or, if my buddies are following protocol in quarantine, I can invite them over to my place.
That is true.
Like I wouldn't invite somebody over to my place that wasn't following quarantine rules. That's just me.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that risk as well.
Yeah, like if I was still in California with a couple of the old RA friends, if even one of you wasn't following like quarantine rules, I would never invite you to any events. I'd have to wait until you like show that you can handle quarantine and can follow safety precautions. Otherwise, like to me, then you just seem like a kid. You just seem like a kid rebelling against like rules, and that's I don't know. For some people, that's not their cup of tea.
I just think it's been too heavily like politicized. Like somehow this has become an issue where like, oh, if you value your personal freedom, you go out without wearing a mask. You show them what's up, and that's so I don't know. That seems like the dumbest thing to me.
Those protests that are like, oh, I don't want to wear a mask. It's It's like my American right not to have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, okay, it is your American right to do so. But at the same time, what if you get the virus? What if you start spreading it to your loved ones?
Yeah.
Most people don't give a shit about something until it hits like somebody close to them.
Exactly. They just start
and
affecting.
Even then, it's crazy because I know somebody whose family got Corona, and the first thing that person did was, instead of wishing for like the safety and happiness and the healthiness of their like relative, they were like, you see, this is what we get. We put masks on and we do gloves on, and we still get corona. You know,
That's so
like,
dumb.
and I'm like, like you said, why politicize it? You know,
Yeah,
like,
I don't get it.
what's so wrong with the state of the world is in super disarray right now.
Yeah.
What's wrong with spending maybe a couple months, 2-3 months of your life in quarantine? You know, let the graphs settle out.
Yeah, the thing is that like by saying not wearing a mask is your right, it is your right. But the thing is that when it starts affecting other people, then it becomes like a public concern, right? It's like saying, you know what, I can get hit by a car if I want to. Yeah, but what if you get hit by a car and then like 10 other people around you also get hit by a car once you get hit by a car? Then it's no longer your right because it's gonna affect other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when it starts, yeah.
I think you bring up like a good point there, right? Like, yeah, your actions have consequences on others. So do you as an American still value your individual right at that point, or do you switch to a collective mindset? You know, a lot of people here speak about their individual freedoms. Well, individual freedoms, while they are important, and I personally like heavily support them, there's got to be some sort of like momentum shift, you know, where like your individual freedoms, I wouldn't say put them on the back burner, value them, but at the same time value your community, you know, like
Definitely.
value the people around you, value it in a way that
Hello?
you know, fine, you know what, I might not be able to self in quarantine, in my opinion. Yes, a lot of your personal fun or a lot of your, I guess, previous social life might not be the same, but I mean, eventually it will be. Eventually, this will all blow over. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of how long you want that time frame to be. You know,
Yeah.
if you don't mask on, if you don't wash your hands, if you don't follow safety protocols, we could be in this shit for years.
I know.
We could be here for like a year and a half longer. You know.
Then what are the rules looking like in Florida right now? Are they trying to like pull it back, like trying to close some businesses, or what
No,
is it looking like?
so it's like the exact opposite. Our governor said the other day, like I think like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, he was like, we have no plans on like, you know, going back on our words of reopening Florida and then reopening small businesses, you know, like we're pushing forward with the plan, like, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, I guess that's fine. You
Yeah.
know, if you want to reopen the state, but you know, you want to reopen it, like you don't want to just go ham right from the get go. A lot of small businesses, I value this. They opened back up, but they still had safety precautions in place. Like, hey, like you can come in. We have to limit the amount of people coming into our restaurant, and we have
Yeah.
to limit the amount of people coming into shop. But we'll reopen, and you know it's better than making nothing with nobody
That's
coming
true.
into our shop, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So
But
that's smarter.
yeah, but then there's places that are just like, yeah, fuck the rules, shit.
Yeah.
You know, Florida's reopened. Come and enjoy as much as you want, and it's kind of dumb. And I actually recently, I just got an Amber Alert on my phone. Actually, that was like
Yeah.
5-10 minutes ago. It was like countywide curfew starting tonight at 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. every day until further notice. So like now they're gonna have a curfew set, and I don't think
Exactly.
it's necessarily quarantine based. I think that's 4th of July and protests. And there's a lot of
Protest.
other factors going into it,
Yeah.
but I think it's their way of like, at least my county's way, I guess, of like limiting quarantine or limiting coronavirus spreading. Right? Is that if you put a curfew at 10 p.m., who the fuck is gonna go to the bars? Right? You
Makes
can't.
sense.
There's a
Yeah.
curfew set in place. You can be fined. You can be ticketed. You know, at most extreme, they can probably take you to jail for that, for breaking
Yeah.
curfew.
So where do you live in Florida? I always
I live
forget.
in Miami, so I live in
Miami. Okay.
so the county is Miami-Dade County, and the nearest county after that is Broward County. And
Yeah,
so
yeah, I can imagine Miami being very anti-rules, very pro bars and stuff like that. So
well,
I'm sure you.
Miami itself is kind of like a weird mix. Like it's like a melting pot, kind of
Yeah.
watered down. Like So it's not like New York style melting pot. There is a good amount of diversity here, but at the same time, it's there's still a lot of like, I guess,
Cubans.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say Cubans, but there are larger groups than others, of course.
Yeah, everything I learned from Miami is from watching Dexter. So it just seems like a city full of like clubs, Latino people, and
No,
serious.
there is a good amount. Honestly,
Yeah.
there's a good amount of Black folk. There's a good amount of Hispanic folk. There's a good amount of brown, like Middle Eastern or South Asian folk. There's an Asian population here as well, like a pretty decent size. A couple of the engineering friends that I had at Berkeley also came from Florida, and they actually came from the same like area. They come from Fort Lauderdale, which is a little bit up north.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's a good amount of ethnicities here. But at the like, it's really weird because a majority of like the political atmosphere here in South Florida, it's like you have your university students that are always a little bit more liberal and progressive.
Yeah.
But then you have Cuban immigrants or like people that are. This is specifically, I guess, with Cuban folk though too, is that you have a lot of them curtailing themselves to the conservative side.
Yeah.
Because the narrative they have is that they for instance, some people they fled communist Cuba, right? And so when they came to America, they're hearing all this talk about progressivism, socialism, and like I mean at Berkeley we joked about this a lot, but like communism, and at a certain point it's just like for them it's like they've already assorted so much negative connotation with the word communism that any sort of like path that leads to that they're gonna go against heavily.
Makes sense.
So when it's Democratic, it could be even a conservative senator or conservative politician that has like socialist values, which is it's kind of a contradiction. But there are some politicians that kind of have that sort of story. It's really weird, and so like here, like I've walked by Trump rallies and like supporters, like on my way to school so often that it's at this point like at first I was like I thought it was a joke. It's not like I'm saying some of these political like views are a joke, but really more so like I always thought my sheltered ass didn't think that I could ever see this kind of stuff happening in my state.
Around you. Yeah, makes sense.
And then on my way to school you just see them all the time, see Trump 2020 flags. Like it's I don't know.
So it does happen. See, it's more melted than you would think. That's the thing. People, we all live in like bubbles, right? We all think people agree with us. People around us agree with us. That's not necessarily true. Anyways, all right, let's talk a little bit about quarantine. How's quarantine been for you? Have you developed any like new hobbies? What have you been doing to pass the time?
I mean, I started out quarantine like pretty motivated.
Yeah.
I was working out. I mean, I couldn't go to the gym, but I was doing a lot more like at
body
home
weights?
workouts.
Yeah.
Body weights. I have some dumbbells. I have like a 20 pound. My brothers are also at home too. So my brothers, one of my brothers bought like one of those weight changing dumbbells. You just twist off the sides and then add plates onto it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had that, and I was using that from time beings. And then he bought resistance bands, and so I was using resistance bands. And this is like the first, like this was probably around like April to May. I was doing this, even like first week of June, I was doing it.
Yeah.
Then I think gradually I've started to lose that motivation factor.
Of course.
It's I don't know. It's become a little bit more difficult to kind of pursue or do that kind of stuff, and that's just my mindset. I don't know. I started my internship, right? And I started my internship. I have to take care of these cats that I got, and so lately I've just been a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that I have to do.
For sure.
That really, the whole working out or finding a hobbies has not been easy, but I've been able to game a little bit more lately, which is nice. I think
but
I dropped Fortnite.
Okay, of course.
Finally out of my life.
Kick that game right out of your life. It just produces anger and anxiety. It's not good. Yeah. Anyways, but you look good though. You look, I don't know, skinnier before. I want to say you look skinnier. Is that true, or is it
Yeah.
just without the beard? I don't know.
No, my mom has been complaining so much too that
That
she's
you're
like,
too
you've lost so
skinny.
much weight.
I
So
know.
like, she was like, when you came home from graduation, when you graduated Berkeley like 2 years ago, you know, you looked so good.
You
You
were
were like,
thick.
yeah. Well, I mean, like apparently some parts
Yeah.
of my body are still thick. I still gotta, you know, I still got
Okay.
that
Sure.
apparently. But
Yeah.
um, no, she was like, you look so good. You know, you were a little bit bulkier. You know, like I was working out at the time too. So yeah, I still had fat, but at least like my general body shape was like a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot bigger. And my shoulders are like up to here right now. I think they were probably like maybe an inch out, an inch and a
I
half
know.
out.
Yeah. I was gonna
Like,
say you were
so
you were just thicker, but you know, I like the look. You know, now you look like you're lean. You're like fit. You know.
well, I'm trying, you know.
Okay.
And the one thing that I'm still waiting on is like a more established jawline. But I
Mm,
think slowly, as I get back into maybe doing some like cardio workouts, that I'll start losing some of these stubborn fat areas.
yeah. I get. I get you. I've been doing a lot of like ab workouts, but I still have a little bit of fat like at the
Show me your
bottom.
ass.
And I
Come
was
on.
no, I don't have abs. Come on. What do you think this is? You know, it's very hard to get abs.
This is an
Not
R-rated
just
podcast. That's what this is.
no, it's not. It's not. You know, it's family friendly,
Pow
advertiser
wow
friendly,
after hours, you know?
advertiser friendly. Anyways, but yeah, I was just gonna compliment you on your new
Mm.
skinny look. But you've been
Oh,
saying
dude,
that
same with
you,
you. I think
yeah,
like at Berkeley, I think when we were at Berkeley, I think your skin wasn't as clear. I
yeah,
think I don't know after graduate. I think after I graduated, I didn't see your face that much, but I think in
yeah.
the last year I've seen your face a lot more. I don't know how I feel about that, but I definitely think your skin has looked a lot better. I think
Okay,
your skin looks
thank you.
very clear, very light, shiny. I don't know if it's the the Asian skincare products now that you're
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of back
dude. The
home, you
skincare
know?
products. I never used to use them, but I've been starting to use them, and it's been having an effect. You know, so
My girlfriend has been trying to get me to use them, and which reminds me, she sent me a list that I need to order for myself. Skincare is expensive. Skincare
it
takes a good
is
amount of stuff. Yeah,
for
she
sure.
like sent me a list. She's like, how intensive do you want to get into this world? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, listen, like we could put you through a crash course in hell, or we could start you off easy.
Yeah,
I was like, I play games on the max difficulty. So like, you know
yeah,
what? Let's take this crash course. She's like, here's like $150 skincare list. Like I tried to make it cheap, and then
that's way too
she was
expensive.
like, you're gonna spend at least 30 minutes, maybe 35 minutes a night doing this. I was like,
Night, dude.
holy
You should
shit.
be like, nah, I'm out. I
No,
got too
I'm
much.
gonna do it. I
Okay.
think like I think when I was in high school, when I was in middle school, my acne was super bad.
I would
Like
love
I
a
had a
photo.
mountain range all across my forehead,
I
and
would love.
I had the
Yeah.
worst response to it was that I scratched it. I scratched the living hell out of it. I would pop
Why
them,
would you
scratch them
do
till they
that?
were bleeding,
Okay.
and I don't know. I guess it was an insecurity, right? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
For
always
sure.
thought, if I scratched them, they would heal better, or they
Yeah,
would heal faster, or they just might not look as bad. And
yeah,
so, like, I don't know. You've seen my Facebook. Like, I had long hair, and so
yeah,
the way I gradually like hid my acne was that I would have my Bieber style haircut over my forehead, and I think that made it worse because then the oils from my hair
yeah. It
was
gets
getting
stuck
on
in
my
it.
face. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and like you shouldn't. Gets like too hot under the hair, so it just gets worse, right? So, but
Yeah.
anyways, um, yeah. One thing that I didn't realize is, so I lost a bunch of weight like last semester, all throughout quarantine as well.
Mm.
And Dom sent me a photo the other day of us when you were graduating, like the year,
Mm.
like the banquet before you graduated. And dude, I looked real chubby. I was I was like, wow, I didn't know I looked like that.
Mm.
None of y'all were good friends. None of y'all told me like,
Nah, I
yeah,
told you to your face. I told you. I'm pretty sure. I
I gotta
remember
start
telling you
working
one day
out.
to your face. I was like, Derek, like, you need to come to the gym with me.
I know.
I'm
I thought that was a joke. You know, you say these
no
things all
way.
the time. I was like, yeah, yeah.
Listen,
Probably didn't mean it.
if I tell you, hey, you should come to the gym with me,
Yeah,
maybe as a friend, I'm saying, oh, you know what, come work out with me.
yeah.
But if you're dense, you'll probably be like, you probably wouldn't understand. Oh, you know what? I think he's asking me to go to the gym for one reason alone. You know.
I know. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was too entrenched in trying to succeed at Berkeley. That
Hey, you got into Haas.
Yeah, that is true. That happened the same year. See,
Yeah.
couldn't have done it. Couldn't have done. But I honestly think it would probably be easier if I was skinnier, because I'd look better in interviews.
I think that's true.
Or maybe they needed a quota for a fat kid, so they just like a like a diversity quota. So I
honestly
that.
I kind of hate this. I don't think anybody's shallow enough to be like this.
Yeah.
But I think if you yourself look good or you present yourself very well, like in interviews, then it makes a very I've read studies like the first impression somebody makes of you is the way you like present yourself. So your
definitely.
face, body, like your looks, like people will judge you based off those within the first like 30 seconds they meet you.
Yeah, definitely. So,
and anybody that says they don't is probably lying to you.
Yeah, even subconsciously you do it.
Yeah, right? They might not have as much of a strict or as much of a critical review of you as others might, but they definitely still do.
Yeah, like I honestly think I would have easier time finding a job if I was like skinnier. I would like look better during interviews. Like I wouldn't come off as like slow or like dull. When I'm thinking about answers, it just presents a different look. Anyways.
No, I mean it makes sense. I've seen enough K-dramas.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I've read enough mangas and anime, or seen enough animes that like apparently it's always like the lean, muscular, or the lean, tall, lanky guy. There's always the guy that gets all the opportunities, and then you have like the chubby kid as the side character.
As the side character.
I've rarely seen any shows that usually showcase like a fat kid as the
Dude, I'll send you the photo Dom sent me after this is done, and you can see what I'm talking about. It was a wake up call. It really was. Anyways, so you said you started gaming a lot more, so and you dropped Fortnite. So what have you been playing? Just wondering.
I think when I played Fortnite so much, I just got like the game was fun. When I first started playing it, I started playing it when it actually like 2-3 months after it came out.
Yeah.
And I used to play a lot of solos back then. Like while I was in college, that's when I bought an Ethernet cord, hooked it up to my computer, and I was just playing almost every day. And it was super fun, honestly. I played with a couple of my engineering friends. Gradually, I started playing with you guys as well. Like I think what made the game a lot more fun or kept the continued interest was the fact that I was playing with friends.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like the game itself seems a little bit repetitive to me, and people will argue that like, oh, they're putting out new content always, and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's true and all, but you play a game long enough, like either you get very sick and tired of it if they're not updating it in ways that you thought would be fun or exciting, or like some of the complaints I've seen in the Fortnite community was always, oh, the developers aren't listening. And at a certain point, I was just like, you know what, like I need to drop this game because
you should.
I used to enjoy playing a lot of RPG, like a lot of like indie games, a lot of stuff that I found fun, even if I couldn't play with friends that often. I was like, it's a solo player experience.
Like a story
and I get
game.
to enjoy. I get to enjoy a variety of games instead of just sticking to one.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, since I dropped it, I've been playing a bunch of different kind of games, roguelikes. I've been playing COD. I play COD with like my cousins and my brothers. That's just like my like family game now.
Yeah.
If you guys want to play it too, like all means. I've been trying to get you guys to get on. No, I'm down to play Apex. I just don't know. Actually, I'm down to play Apex. It's just our timings are so different.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We can make it work. I'm a master Apex player. I got real addicted to Apex like junior year in college.
I remember.
Got really good. Yeah.
I remember.
I'm like level 150. My caustic has like thousands of kills.
I think Apex is a fun game too, and I played it for a little bit. But at the time, I just enjoyed Fortnite so much more that it just kind of lost my interest.
Nah, Fortnite's not fun. It was always too difficult. Like once it got super popular, it became like way too hard for me to have any sense of joy from it. I just
it's not casual anymore.
It's
literally
not,
you can go to a public match and like there are kids, and shout out to the 13-year-olds and 16-year-olds like making that esports grind. Like if they want to spend hours every day practicing their skills and playing the game, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But so many of the younger fan base of Fortnite does that they'll spend hours in like creative, or they'll be practicing, and so at a certain point the game's average skill level increased.
Yeah.
And I don't remember when. It was probably towards the end of season 1.
Yeah.
That
like, somewhere like that.
Yeah, sorry, end of chapter 1, like season 8 and shit. Like people just like got good all of a sudden.
Yeah, like super.
And like
good.
I took a hiatus. For probably like maybe a couple months, and I got back into the game. And like I thought I was a decent player back when I started playing. Like I spent some time like playing scrims, playing with some of the pro players. Now I wasn't a pro myself, but I did get to play games with them on their scrims and stuff. So like I thought I was doing well enough that I won a couple of games of those. But I get back in and I'm just like getting shit on. And I'm like, for me, it's like, holy hell, like how
exactly.
how can I enjoy this game? Like, do I have to put like I started trying to put in hours to get better at the game, but then I just realized like, man, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, you can't have fun in the game that you keep losing at.
Yeah,
that's just true for anything, right?
Exactly. I was playing COD the other day, and let me tell you, right now, I am not very good at COD. Like, I can say that with fact. I love playing games, and some games I'm very good at. COD is just not one of those games right now. One, my computer is not the best right now. So, like, I get frame skips, or sometimes I might have some input lags. So, like, for me, it's like, okay, like, I'm basically trying the best with what I got. But, man, I have not completed a single moment of that game. I'm playing with, like, cousins and, like my brothers. And we just like shit around the whole time.
I know.
It's and like when we played Fortnite too, like honestly, like I didn't care if we won or lost. Like I would scream.
Cared. Yeah.
No, I would scream. But like that's just the kind of person I am. I think a game is a lot more enjoyable when you have like these dynamic, or like when you have a lot more of these
emotions.
I guess like when you like, I think like if you're playing games stoically or like expressionless wise, like, or like you die and you're like, all right, that's fine, let's just move on to the next one. Like that's fine and all, but like I don't know. For me, it just seems like I always enjoyed I enjoyed playing games with friends. When I was a lot more expressive.
Yeah.
And I think they'd enjoyed it too. I think like if you're on the other end of if you're at the other end of a call of a friend screaming at you,
that is true,
because you didn't put down a campfire, or you didn't stick the res, or you just decided to run away like a coward, yeah, it's shitty getting screamed at, but man, I'll tell you right now, if I'm on the other end hearing that, I'm laughing my ass off.
I know. Let's definitely get something going though. Apex or COD, let's get something going.
Some of your viewers, that sexy account, hey.
Yeah, dude, that streaming account with my 3 followers. I'm down to go, man.
Hey, listen, to get Twitch partner, it's not that hard.
Just I think it's pretty hard. No, the thing is, you gotta like it's a grind. Like first of all, you gotta do it all day. Like these streamers, they don't take a break. Like you just gotta keep doing it. And I don't have the mental capacity to do it. I play like 2 hours of a game. I'd be like, dude, I am like tired. Like I'm tapped out.
And that's fine though. Like when I first started streaming, and I think when I streamed, I didn't get Twitch partner because I didn't do it long enough.
Yeah.
But I eventually reached a point where, I mean, yeah, there was still view bots, but I was probably getting an average of 6 to 7 viewers every stream.
Yeah, pretty good.
And I think like starting off, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think good. Like if I continued on, maybe I would have gotten Twitch partner. I would like to get Twitch partner. You only need 3 people to view your streams on average for like a certain time frame. I forget what, and some other criteria. But like that's why I say getting Twitch partner isn't hard. Now getting a good following base is hard.
Yeah.
But that's when you put in the grind. Like, but I wasn't streaming all day either. I would stream maybe 3-4 hours. Like,
I feel
like some of these streamers, kudos to them. You go all day. They built themselves up for that,
Yeah.
Like when they first started streaming, like maybe some of them were streaming the whole time. Maybe they 100% put themselves into the grind. But some people were probably only streaming like, maybe 6 hours, 4 hours a day, like not that long.
Yeah.
Whatever was feasible.
Yeah. A lot of people probably discover like they have a knack for this, and then I've heard a lot of stories about people like quitting them jobs and just going all day, and that's kind of dedication you need to make it. And I don't have that kind of dedication. But All right. Speaking of jobs, so you just started your internship, right? How has that been? And you're working from home right now, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like this summer, I'm interning for Amazon. I'm one of the few. Yeah, honestly, I never expected myself to be in the tech sphere,
Dope.
but it's good. I'm one of the couple few interns in the hardware side compared to like the coding side or software development. On the hardware development side, there's not very many of us.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to you know, like when I got accepted into like college, you know, if for some reason I kind of felt like that. I felt like I interviewed for a position, I didn't know if I was gonna get in or not, but like being like, hey, like we want to extend you an offer, I was like, holy hell, like I guess this is happening,
I
you
know.
know. And it wasn't even in my plans, I think. So like a little backstory before like I accepted
Yeah.
the internship, right? My plan was to graduate actually this past semester.
Yeah.
I was ready. I had like I had been preparing myself for applying to jobs and stuff like that. When I graduated Berkeley, I did myself dirty. I'd applied to PhD programs, didn't really get into many of them, and some of the ones that I did get into, and you know, I considered. I was like, you know what, this could be a good opportunity, but I chickened out, and
Yeah.
I use that term very like strongly. Like I did. I decided, you know what, I don't think I can commit to a 5-year program immediately right off the bat. Like I like doing research and I like doing like academic research, but I just don't know if I'm ready to commit 5 years of my life. And so I
Yeah.
started applying way late to jobs. I started applying in like May or June when I graduated, and
Yeah.
most kids were applying like September, October of the
The
year
last,
before.
last year, yeah.
And so like I was like way behind, and I got some job interviews, and eventually I did get a couple offers. But in all honesty, like those offers weren't for like they weren't for materials engineering positions, which is what I
Yeah.
wanted to do.
Yeah.
They were like one was for an oil company as a field engineer, so I'd be out on a rig for like cut like 2 months or like cut like
Okay.
weeks on end, and then I'd get like come back home and then spend like 4 weeks at home, you know, and then like do that side kind of.
Yeah.
And then I got a position as like an analyst for a defense company, and I thought, you know what, I don't think I should start off this way. I told myself that if I take these positions, yes, it's a job, but it's not the area I want to start off in. I told myself I need to start off strong.
Yeah.
Because the stronger you start, you know, like the better of a time you'll have in in your position. Like I knew nothing about those roles.
Yeah.
I got the job because I could do the bare minimum, but I just didn't know if I like see myself doing it.
Okay.
So either way, I after a couple like I spent like I think 6 months jobless. I was doing like working at Subway in the meantime, just because I didn't want to have like an employment gap. I didn't want to tell people like, oh, I wasn't doing anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went back and I worked at Subway for a couple like months. I think like 2 months I did. And so afterwards I decided, you know what, like I need to like change up like my plan, my career plan, my future plans. Like I need to do something. I just can't be applying to jobs because after a year as a new grad, if you haven't gotten a job, it's gonna be very difficult to get one again.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna be even more difficult to find one because then people are gonna be like, "Oh, for a year you didn't really do much. Like, what were you doing in that time frame?" And if that's like a killer interview question. Like at that point, like what do you tell them? Like, "Oh, I just sat at home doing nothing," right? And so I told myself, you know what? I quit my job at Subway, and I had already applied to PhD programs. So I told myself I'll just apply to the master's program near my house. And so I spent the next 2-3 months talking with professors at the university. I applied, I got in, and then I started talking to professors to see if I could get some funding. Eventually got some funding. So it wasn't too bad. Like I wasn't paying, and it's a in-state tuition, but it was my second chance, you know? I told myself that I didn't do the most I could have when I was at Berkeley when it came to like finding jobs. And so when I started my master's program, I told myself I'm gonna do every internship opportunity. I'm gonna go after every internship opportunity I can. I'm gonna make sure that I get straight A's. Because at Berkeley I tried my best to get A's and I did get them, but I was no 4.0 kid. I wasn't even a 3.5 kid. I was like a 3.1, 3.2 kid. And I told myself I need to get better grades. And so I mean, since then the grind has like started. Like I every semester I can happily say I still have a 4.0, and I'm like 3 semesters deep already. Like it's like but I took every opportunity I can get to me. My
How?
first semester. What
Yeah.
happened? Good.
How long is the master's program? Like 2 years? 3 years?
It's supposed to be 2 years.
Okay.
I tried to rush it and tried to finish last semester or this past semester,
Okay.
but because of the virus, the research that I needed to do for one of my courses, I couldn't do. And so, because of that, my graduation has been delayed to winter when I can actually complete the course.
Gotcha.
So right now, it's just as an incomplete, and I think that's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
had to say like I had to say no to a couple of job offers. I like the job offer I'd accepted in California. I was gonna go work for Northrop in Palmdale. Kind of looking forward to a very weird schedule, but they were paying me a good amount of money,
Yeah.
and I think I was gonna enjoy my time there. But I had to say no to them and tell them I couldn't because the virus affected my
Yeah.
graduation. But yeah, when I started my master's, that first week, I didn't know really, like, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know any of the professors really well. And so I just walked around campus aimlessly because I didn't even know the campus. I've lived in Florida for so long, but I never once been on this campus. And it's like 15 minutes away from my house or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah. And that first week, there was a seminar going on by like some defense company. And I told myself, they were doing like resume reviews too.
Yeah.
It was for undergraduates. But I
Okay.
told myself, you know what, like I'm going to go in and I'm going to go try to talk, and I saw like the head of our department there. And he was like, oh, like, Maaz, what are you doing here? I was like, oh, like, I heard there was a seminar going on or a resume review event. I mean, I just started my master's, but I always like, I'm looking for an opportunity to improve myself. And it was like, okay, it's mostly for the bachelor's kids. I was like, yeah, I know, but I'll go in and like check it out. And like, they physically can't stop you from going in, right? So
Yeah.
I told them, like, yeah, I'm just gonna go in and check it out. I was like, okay, have fun. And like, I went in, and when I went in, they were already wrapping up the resume review event. Like they
Yeah.
like packing up and shit like that. And I came in and I was like, hey, listen, like I'm sorry, like I know like I was a little bit late. I tried to start, but I didn't like start off with saying sorry. I started off with like talking with them about like some of like the job opportunities they had, or some about like the company and the culture. And I think they saw that I was very interested and very eager to learn about their company and like was looking for opportunities very well. And so the lady was like, listen, how about this? I think I might have some openings. How about you give me your resume? I'll look at it. And, if there's a fit, I'll let you know. I was like, oh, thank you. And I
That's
always
good.
keep a folder of resumes on me, no matter what, no
That's
matter
good.
where I go. I like, even if I'm going to the grocery store, I always keep a folder in my car.
Really?
Because you never know when you're going to meet somebody.
That is true.
And I think opportunities come at the weirdest times. Like I never expected to get an opportunity there. I gave that lady my resume. 2 weeks later, she reached back out to me like, hey, we want to schedule an interview with you. I was like, okay. I did my interview. I did my interview in a parking lot because I was in the lab doing schoolwork for a class that I was a little bit behind on. And so I had to do my interview in a parking lot. And so I did it, and like apparently like they liked me well enough that they gave me an offer like a week and a half later.
Nice.
And that was my first internship. And then my first semester I met somebody at the grocery store working at one of the 3D printing companies nearby. And like I talked to her and I was like, hey, like what do you guys do? And she's like, oh, we do like a lot of metal 3D printing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shoot, that's sick. Like I'm an engineer, or like I'm a master's student. She's like, listen, like we don't really have an official internship program, but like if you want to come and like learn about the industry and stuff like that, let me know. I got an email. I sent her like my resume, and like within like 2 weeks, like she was like, yeah, listen, like we'll have an interview with you. A week after, it's kind of like a startup. Like a week after they gave me the position, and I started, and I learned so much in that job. And it's actually because of that job, I think, that I got my Amazon internship. Because for Amazon, they were looking for somebody with 3D printing or other manufacturing skills. And the person that interviewed me, my current manager, like mentor, he was like, oh, like, yeah, like we saw your resume, and we were like, oh, like you got a lot of relevant experience for like the kind of work that we were looking to do this summer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one thing led to another, like, it's crazy.
That sounds like a movie right there. It could be like a inspirational tale. It's like, have you ever seen that movie, The Pursuit of Happiness?
Yeah, I have.
Like basically like that.
Yeah.
Right? You just need instead of a kid, you have a cat. Just bring your cat to the interviews. Set him outside the room.
And I tell this to like most of the kids like I mentor, or like I try to like advise college kids, right? Is that I went to Berkeley. because specifically out of name. And there's some benefit to going to school with name, but I told him like you gotta make the most of what you have. And like I was in this master's program. The school is a R1 university. Like they do like research at the same level that Berkeley does. Yeah. But I guarantee you, if I tell you the name, you probably wouldn't like. If I tell most people their name, they wouldn't know it. Florida International University, right? Like most people haven't heard of it. And so like it's like it's not as well known, but man, I did my time there. I made sure every semester that I would take a lab course, because if I didn't get an internship, I would have lab skills that I could put on my resume, you know? Yeah. Like I tell them like, make the most of what you got, because if you don't, like, and you sit there like worrying about like, oh, like I didn't go to this school or I didn't get this opportunity, like you're just gonna dig yourself into a hole, and that hole is so shitty, man.
Yeah, that's inspiring, man. Make you want to go outside and run through a wall. You should become a motivational speaker. You know? Do a TED
Talk. About it. I thought about it. But then I told myself that I don't know. I think if I started making money off of it, I would lose the like the kind of happiness I get from like telling my story.
Yeah. So how is your time at Amazon so far? Has it been real fun? Even though it's work from home, like how do you interact with employees and all of that? But how do you make sure you still get to?
So like Google Hangouts, right?
Yeah.
So like Google for their interns makes them use Google Hangouts for like like calls and stuff like that. Microsoft has Teams. Like Amazon has Chime. Chime is their like company like messaging app.
Yeah.
And so I chime people of like my team, other teams, people in teams that I would like to work at, or like people in teams with products that I want to get to know more about. Sorry, a bit dry throat.
Yeah. So how is it like? Is it just like you have a meeting every day and then you get your work, you just do it? Like how do you make sure that the interaction is still there, I guess?
I think it honestly, like it comes down to like I said, make the most of what you got. I go into every Chime meeting like even if I'm dead tired, I try to make sure that I have some energy. I don't want to overwhelm the other person at the same time, but I make sure that like I'm ready, I'm happy, I seem excited, because the worst thing is to hop onto a meeting with somebody that you don't know. Like I'm an intern, right? They don't know me. Or hop onto a meeting and the other person's like dry as a rock.
You know? For sure.
I guess not as a rock, boring. But it's like the conversation is dry. It's not very fun. And I've had some of those conversations with some people at Amazon. It's not like I haven't, but I do my best. And I think with like the whole work from home situation, it kills my motivation, because like as a hardware intern, like a lot of the work I'm supposed to be doing is hands-on. But I'm doing a lot more virtual work this time around. Hopefully though, I think they're planning on having me fly out for a week, maybe towards the end of July or August, when the virus is maybe lowered down a bit. To check out the facilities, get some hands-on. But it's been great, honestly. And everybody on my team is super supportive. I think I definitely think this is one of the better teams I've worked on. This and the team. Honestly, I think for my last internships, I've worked on some great teams. Synthesia, that's the metal 3D printing company I worked at. Honeywell, which is the company I worked in Kansas. And Amazon. Like every single one of the teams that I've worked on has been great. And I'm super glad though too, because some people I know internship-wise, I worked on some shitty teams.
Yeah,
like they hated their managers, or they hated some of their coworkers, or their coworkers talked down to them, you know? So I think I've definitely gotten a bit luckier with the fact that every one of the teams I've been on has been super supportive.
Gotcha. So it should be fun. I mean, people are already going outside anyways. I don't see why they can't, fly you out. At least try out some of the stuff, right? You're like, I live in Florida, but
But I make my case. I was like, listen, like they asked me, oh, have you been outside, or how often do you go outside and stuff? And I'm like, I haven't gone outside. I really haven't, not often. In the last maybe 2 months, 3 months, I've gone outside maybe 3-4 times max.
Like I'm behaving myself.
Right. I go outside maybe I went one time to grab dinner for myself, because my family was visiting. Like they were at another my uncle's house. Chilling there. and the other 3 times were family events. Like we went out to hang out with family, but like we kept it close and we kept it like small. So like we weren't like breaking quarantine rules either. We made sure that everybody that we were going, like we went with masks, we went with gloves. I've been taking it as seriously as I can.
Yeah.
And I keep masks in my car in case I forget to bring one with me. It's,
treating it seriously. I know. And
what about you?
Well, yeah, Taiwan has been handling it really well, so nothing's closed. I can still go outside. So fortunately enough for me, I graduated early, so I just sort of escaped it. So I graduated a semester early, so I'm glad I did my but the virus started breaking out when I was in the military. So that was kind of a weird time when we had to like go through everything but with masks on. Like we would do like all our drills with masks on.
Man, like you had to march through like mountain paths and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it got real hot and like our masks were always wet. But like it was just I thought it was just for show because like we all like I slept in a room with like 80 other people like this close, right? So there really isn't no
like
point.
on the floor, like just next to each other,
like bunk beds.
Okay.
And it's just like it's just like a long wooden plank, and you just sort of sleep on it. You have like your own like
a long wooden plank like this. I'm I don't know, like were the conditions good at least? Like could you sleep, or was it like you're sleeping on like a wooden log?
No, you could sleep. It's not that bad. It's just like the room is filled with people, and you're really close to the person next to you. So there's like it's just for show, right? Because like if they have corona, I'd probably get it too, right? It's just a matter of time. So, but like we would wake up, do our drills when we were lining up. We still had to wear our masks. Like you get like yelled at if you don't. It's like a really bad. Like we would get yelled at. Like I would have my nose popping out when we were like marching with my rifle, and then the drill sergeant would be like, "What the fuck are you doing with your nose hanging out? Put your mask back on." I don't want to say it again. And I'm like, really, this is the thing that I'm getting yelled at for, like in the army. Like it's so. Yeah.
Would your squad have punishments, like if like one person wasn't like following protocol, or like?
I mean, like the worst is like they get dragged down in front of everyone and like really yelled at, like harshly yelled at, right?
That's the worst. Listen, if I was just yelled at in front of people, I don't know, I wouldn't feel that bad, honestly.
No, dude, it's like when you're getting really yelled at, it like transports you back to like being a kid. You're like, oh my god, like the shame, But what else could happen? Or maybe like physical, not physical punishment, as in like they'll beat you, but like they'll tell you to do like push-ups or whatever. Yeah,
well, that's good,
Yeah. It's not horrible. Mainly,
that's how you get your skinny, lanky, body type. You get your
body type, the abs, and the pecs. No. But anyways, so you were talking a little bit about how your family treats quarantine rules. I just want to know, like, is it like, does everyone in your family sort of treat it like seriously, or do people not believe in it? And how is your side of things looking like?
So I think close family, like mom, dad, siblings, we take it seriously. My brother goes to the gym with his friend, but he goes wearing a mask. Like he puts on a cloth mask. He takes some gloves with him. And the gym he goes to is his friend's gym, who's just like they just reopened up, but they like have been like doing very well with keeping like quarantine size like people coming in. So like our populations. So like there's not very many people in the gym. They make you do a 6 feet like between people. If you come in with a friend, you could be with that friend, but you can't come in with groups of more than 3 or 4, because then they say then that becomes a health hazard.
Yeah,
so like you come in with 2 groups of 2, right? Like, but any more than that is not allowed.
Okay. So people are taking it seriously though.
Yeah.
Do you have any like relatives that are like, we don't need to wear masks? They show up at like family meetings and they're like the rebels. They're like, nah.
For Father's Day, and I guess this is probably like one of the cases that like my family hasn't followed protocol, which is that on Father's Day, my dad has 10 siblings or 10 brothers, and he has 4 sisters. 3 of his sisters live in North Carolina, 1 lives in Saudi Arabia, right? But all of his brothers every single one of them lives in South Florida, where everybody's like a 15-20 minute drive away from each other.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And so I have a lot of cousins. And so like when we invite everybody that's in the South Florida area, that's like immediate family, like our extended family, we get around 70, 80 people sometimes at these events. And so for Father's Day, we had a picnic in the backyard of one of my like uncle's houses. And so like we were like all the kids and cousins, nobody was wearing a mask really. Nobody like had gloves on. The kids were in the pool swimming. The uncles were all like sitting together talking, like barbecuing. All my aunts were all together sitting and talking. Nobody really was wearing a mask. So like that's probably one of the cases where we weren't following protocol. I guess people were just so like caught up in the fact that they were seeing everybody and the festivities and all that.
Yeah, I get that, and
I know and at the time I was like, oh man, like I feel bad that I'm not wearing a mask, but then that kind of quickly got masked by the fact that I had some like, really good burgers and the fact
I was
that I
gonna say
like
alcohol.
board games. No, of course not, dude.
Like, that's some really...
My family's Muslim, so like we don't drink.
Yeah,
and I've never drank before in my life.
Yes. No, I didn't know if you saw my my Google Doc, but I was going to ask you how Muslim people react to the virus. I don't know if it's any different.
I can't tell you like how a collective religion kind of responds to
that's
it.
Kind of a stupid question, but
I think no, but like it's a good question. Like people in my community, people in my religious community, right? For one, Ramadan just happened, right?
It is.
And so in Ramadan, actually, like we get together quite often. Last year, so like for instance, you're like the mosques nearby, depending on which mosque you go to, I guess, but the mosque I go to, it's a very big mosque. They spent millions of dollars renovating it and everything. Every day of Ramadan, they sponsor, like somebody sponsors a fast, so they'll pay money to have like for food to be prepared so people can come to the mosque and break their fast, and then they also feed dinner after. So they'll break the fast with like a water and like a date, like the fruit. And then after that, we go and pray, and then we come out and we eat dinner, and somebody's that sponsored that dinner, right? And so like we would always see our friends and families at the mosque. Like we would get together. Our mosque has a basketball court, so we'd be chilling there, right? So there was a lot of social aspect to that. But this year, the mosque didn't open, and I'm very glad that they didn't. They made the call that like you know what, we can't have people come over for Ramadan. They made avenues for people to donate, because in Ramadan, like you're supposed to, if you have an income, you're supposed to donate whatever like a certain portion, a certain percentage of your income, I guess. But you're supposed to give a certain amount of money based on the number of people in your family.
Okay, makes sense.
So whatever's in your means, but either way, they made it all online. They set up like ways for people to donate money without having to come in person. Like I think they did very well. But some mosques didn't. There's another mosque nearby my house that had been open all throughout quarantine. And like I remember we found out one time that like this was back in May. So my grandpa lives with us. My mom has two of my mom's sister's family is here. They immigrated like a couple years back, and my mom's brother's family is also here. That they also immigrated back. My mom has one brother left in Pakistan who hopefully should be coming soon. But either way, so my grandpa bounces between these houses, but most of the time he stays in my house.
Yeah.
He went to my mom's sister's house, and we found out one week when he came back that he was spending like every Friday going to mosque prayer during quarantine without a mask and stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, can you close the door, please?
That's kind of scary.
Yeah. And so we found out that like that he was going to like prayers, and like my mom's sister's husband was taking him without a mask and stuff, and like we were all super upset. We're like, how like don't get me wrong, like it's important to go to your Friday prayers, but at the same time, like your health and safety is a lot more important. And he's old. He just had his birthday July 1st, I think. He just turned around 85, I think. 85.
Oh, yeah.
He's
so
old.
He's definitely high risk.
Yeah.
You gotta avoid that as much as you can, right? Well,
and it's so dumb.
Hopefully not. Hopefully he's going to be all right. Just stop going to those things.
We made sure.
Yeah. So the whole Muslim thing was to set up a joke that I now find real stupid.
The built-in face coverage.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like if they have
Listen,
whatever those
man.
things
Hey,
are
you
called.
never know. Your following could be like a lot of Muslim people watching you.
No, I doubt
But
it.
I think you still made like when you said the built-in face coverings. I mean, the like people like it's the hijab, right? Some
Yeah,
people
yeah, yeah,
wear it, some people
yeah,
don't. The like in like some of the more religious folk do wear it. I know a lot of my cousins or like even immediate family members don't. My
yeah,
sister does. My sister does wear it, but that's her own choice. She said that she wants to wear it.
yeah.
Um, but like when it comes to face masks and stuff, like I know people that have their hijabs that they still put the face mask underneath.
Oh, underneath it. Yeah,
Yeah,
because like it's a different kind, right? If you have a surgical mask, it's definitely better than
they
just
usually
having
have like
a
they
cloth.
usually have a filter in the cloth masks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
So,
hey, man, if they made hijabs with like those
oh,
filters in
dude,
it, hey,
yeah,
that's not a
bro.
bad hey, that's not a bad idea. I don't know how many people would buy that, but it's not like it's a very creative idea. You know,
I
like
know.
take something that already exists and kind of renovate it.
You could start selling it. Just put
Yeah,
like a piece of cloth underneath it, so that
yeah,
maintain your religion while being corona free.
yeah,
So that's
exactly.
good. Anyways, well,
Mm.
you know, so for me, I don't know, because we have been handling it really well, so I don't see that many problems with like going out. All right.
Must be nice, you know.
I know, must be nice.
Must be
But
super nice.
to me, I see all the news coming out from like the three worst states, right? The news talking about California, Texas, and Florida all the time,
Hey, New
right?
York. Hey, you can never
No, but
forget New York.
New York's better now, but Florida's getting worse. So, so people have been talking about these three states and how there's so many new cases popping up like every single day, right? And
Yeah.
I have to go back to work in October, so that's set in
Mm.
stone. I have to fly back, and I'm real scared about going back because I'm like, what is good? Like, what is the situation going to be, and how do I
Mm.
protect myself? So,
Although I can say this, like at least in Seattle, like Seattle has a good amount of cases. Too, at least within Amazon, they told us that they're looking at around late September or October for having people come back on site. So
okay,
the idea, I guess maybe that's just Amazon, but the idea is that kind of like by October,
yeah,
um, they're planning on like having. I guess I feel like their outlook is that by October it shouldn't be as bad.
yeah, but that's pretty early. Like I've heard a lot of companies saying like they're just gonna like ride out the year. Like I've heard
Yeah,
companies saying like,
Twitter.
yeah,
I know it's saying like, oh, they're gonna let Facebook too. They're letting their employees work from home for like until the end of the year. Like
yeah,
in my case, when I say October, for one, like I said, I'm not on the software side. So if you're on the software side, you can probably do work from home very easily. A
okay,
high school friend of mine actually works for Amazon, and he was telling me that yeah, I was considering going back to Florida and just working from there because my team was fine with it, but he didn't want to come back because Florida's a shithole right now. But uh like for me, I'm on the hands-on side. Like my job requires me to do a lot of like failure testing and
yeah,
hands-on work, and so I need to be in the lab.
mm,
Like the work from home situation doesn't really work with my role, and
okay,
that's gonna happen no matter where I go, whether it was at Amazon and Northrop. It's just the nature of the work that I do that I can't do it over the computer very
yeah, yeah,
easily.
makes sense.
There's a
Well,
very experimental side to it.
yeah, for sure. So I don't know. Do like, is it against the rules to share with us like what exactly your team is doing? It's like some sort of an NDA, some sort of a
I
secret
have some
experiment.
NDAs that I've signed, but that
Okay.
that that comes out to technologies and stuff like that. But I can kind of talk about like like I guess general stuff that I do. So I don't know if you know what failure testing kind of consists of, but let's say you buy an iPhone, and I'm using an iPhone because that's a competitor product, so
Yeah.
I won't get in trouble for talking about it as much. But
Okay.
let's say you have an iPhone, right? And so your iPhone like for some reason you drop it on the floor, the screen cracks, right?
Yeah.
Well, you send it to us and say, hey, like my iPhone screen cracked. Like, I don't know why. I only dropped it from like this distance, yada, 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 yada. And so this is like probably a minor thing, right? But let's say one of the glass shards actually came out and like hit you in the thumb or scratch you, right? That's a potential health hazard. And so what happens is that we'll get like a field return. And this is on the reliability side, but this is something what failure analysis engineers do is that they'll get that and they'll be like, okay, why did it fail this way? Why did the screen crack and like it like let out glass shards, you know?
Okay.
And then once you find like the root cause, what we decide to do afterwards is that we start researching ways to correct that. So is there something in the processing and the manufacturing side? Maybe it's on the design side. You know, maybe like there's a better way to make the iPhone look or design the screen that so it doesn't crack as easily, right? And so that's kind of the nature of the work that I'm doing at Amazon. Materials engineers generally, the work can vary, but most of the time in the industry, you kind of work on is materials development. So like, let's say I have my iPhone glass screen, right? As a materials development person, some of the stuff I could be working on is like, is there a greener way to make that screen? You know, is there a more like cost efficient method? Is there a material out there that I can use that has less waste? Or, you know, is there a material out there that's stronger, better, and kind of like either equivalent cost or a bit cheaper to make, you know? Or if it's a little bit more expensive, how can we integrate that into our iPhone? Like if it's $10 more expensive to make that screen, but it costs the same to put it on, you know, you can have the difference between an iPhone, like, you know, like iPhone 11, let's say with like the weaker screen, and that's $800. But then you put on the strong screen, your price could skyrockets like $1,000. So you're getting a pretty big net profit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's kind of like what like a lot of people in my kind of field do: materials development, research, failure. Those are kind of like the more core areas.
Okay.
Modeling simulations.
That sounds pretty interesting. Now, if let's say if you like get a full-time offer from this and you're able to work on the team, is it going to be in Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Then you're going to be closer to the Bay. Then
our sister team works in the Bay Area. So I don't know if you've heard of Lab 126.
I have not.
So Amazon has a division called Amazon Lab 126, which is where they do a lot of their research and development work. So not as much coding, but a lot more like product development, right?
Yeah.
And so I would be part of the failure analysis team in Seattle, but there's a failure analysis team in Sunnyvale. Now they handle different product groups, right?
But you could go there.
We work quite often together. So I don't think I could be like, if I wanted to, I mean, after a couple of years, I could ask like, oh, you know, like I want to move to the Bay Area to work on that side. But that's just a matter of like managers and stuff. Like there's a manager in Sunnyvale, there's a manager in Seattle, and I love both of them. Like I've talked with both of them. They're super nice and very supportive. But I think like whatever offer they give me, I'll take.
Yeah, you'll probably get to travel though. Like if you work closely together, like if things open back up, you like fly up and down probably for like projects here and there, you know. So it should be.
Yeah, we have some engineers from China on the team too. So there's travel. Like I know some of them travel here and there between China and Seattle and California. Those are like the 3 locations.
Why China?
I think
you're talking to me.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, that's just where some of the work is done. Yeah. Some of our partner labs work there.
Yeah. Okay. No, I was just kidding.
I'm just saying, listen, I respect Taiwan and I recognize that it's it as an independent country. Okay.
Oh wow. Yeah, thank you. So I'm gonna save this, and I'm gonna save this on my phone.
What I said in college, right there. Yes. That's the old me, you know.
Yes, this is the new you with a broadened worldview and better understanding of geopolitics. You know.
Yeah, and you know it's a better you too. You know, you didn't make the hijab joke. That says a lot.
I wanted to. You don't know. I was like, you know.
Trust me. I know. I wanted to make the Taiwan joke too, but at the same time, like, I realized that if this is going on the internet, I need to be more careful what I say and be more respectful.
Yeah, and that's always good. We'll make the jokes when we see each other. You know, that should be.
I don't know about that. I'm a very respectful individual, and I respect individual rights.
Yeah, I'll screen cap that, and I'll send it over to your employer.
If you do, I will chase you down to the ends of this earth.
Hey, I don't even know how to get in touch with people you work with. I'll just send it to like the Amazon customer service email.
Bezos, you just send him a handwritten letter like, hey man.
Jeff Bezos at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Dude, you never know, man. He might reply. I've heard these stories where like I saw on LinkedIn the other day someone was like, oh, I emailed like Bill Gates and he like replied, gave me an internship. I'm like, what?
Okay,
That would never happen.
that. I feel like those are like miracle cases. Like
Yeah.
in the off chance that you did email him and he, like, for one, listen, let's say I do have Jeff's like Jeff's email, but I would never email him.
Ooh, yeah, of course. You probably have
Because
his like
for one, I'm
chime.
too scared to.
You know? Yeah.
Two, there's no reason for me to do so. Like, I feel like I could put my job and myself in jeopardy, but just emailing the guy. The guy is super busy with everything he's doing. You know, like
divorce.
Hey, it happened.
Yeah, it takes time as well. You know.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, whatever's the case, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to fill up what I'm just trying to coast through my internship. By when I say coast, I mean more like, you know, excel, do what I can, you know, do the best that I can, and hopefully try to get that return offer.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm trying to do. Like my like play games, my internship, wait until the end of summer. If I get a return offer, perfect. I'm coasting.
Yeah, and
until December.
How long is the internship? When does it end?
August, the end of August. So it's like around a 3-month internship.
All right, I'll check back in with you before then, I'm sure, and hopefully you get that return offer. Sounds like everything's going well for you, and
I mean, in the meantime,
you know.
Yeah, in the meantime, I would play games, and I'll like do like some gym stuff, but that's just how I've been trying to bide my time through this internship.
All right, and
I know you told me.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, I know you told me. I see here that you say you got your motorcycle license.
Dude. I did. Yeah, I did. It happened like 3 days ago. So I wanted to get it done, right? It's just something that I wanted to get done, and so I practiced for like a day, and I just went in and like took the test.
You got your Taiwanese though.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I was gonna say, if you got the American one, that's pretty impressive because you're in Taiwan. I don't know.
I don't know how that's even possible, but still, I got my Taiwanese one, and it was, you know, the passing rate wasn't that high because I was there at the test, right? So a lot of people in front of me was like failing, failing.
But they didn't go to Berkeley Haas, you know.
Exactly, yeah. So I sort of like shaked my way. There's like a part where you need to keep a straight line and you couldn't like touch the lines and you had to like move slowly through like a straight line. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I passed through that without a problem. Well,
are you planning on driving one?
Yeah, probably at some time. Sometime, yeah. And give you a ride if I ever get one.
Sports bike or old motorbike?
Old motorbike for sure. Yeah,
like a Harley?
No. Like one of those like Asian bikes, you know, like Asian old people bikes.
Asian old people bikes.
Like Asian city bikes. Not a moped, like slightly bigger than that. Like, I don't know.
A Vespa.
No, Vespa is like too little. It's like slightly bigger than that. Better looking, but old.
I'm just thinking of like the racing ones.
No. Definitely not those. Those are like in a different class. Like there's like different classes of motorcycles. But anyways, I'll give you a ride if I can. No, I was gonna say, like, I passed, right, and the lady behind me, when she was going through like the straight line, she almost fell to her left, and so she kicked her right leg out, like straight, to try to balance.
And you're not supposed to do that. Yeah,
you're not supposed to balance. Because now you're half your body's outside the line, right? And it was the most shocking thing because she was like falling over, and her right leg's just kicked straight out, and is like, I was like, okay, yeah.
When I did martial arts, they told us every time when you're falling, you never extend your body parts out straight because then you're gonna land and the force is going straight. When you bend, like you can have some like, you know,
broken bones,
dissipation a bit. You can have a little bit easier dissipation, you know, by having the force be distributed or bend your arm. But all that's just leading to. I remember that I actually like broke my elbow that way. And I haven't told my parents this, but like in college. And broke my phone. I was going down, you know, Channing Way, the frat road.
Yeah.
I was going down that on my longboard, and that's a steep ass hill.
That is a steep.
And this was a week and a half into me like learning how to
skate,
ride a longboard.
Yeah.
And so I was going down, and I was going slow, and I was trying to slow myself down because the way you do it is that you put your foot on the floor and you kind of slide it and all that, and I slipped. and when I fell, I threw my phone to the side. My glasses fell off, and I landed hand here, and like I had like a small like fracture here, and so I was just
King
like,
Center,
yeah,
here we come.
yeah, seriously.
I didn't
So
know you have a
scary.
longboard. I didn't even see one when we were still at Berkeley.
I kind of stopped riding it at that point. When in my senior year, I went to classes, but I didn't go to classes often as I should have because senior
Okay.
year I
Yeah.
spent my time taking bullshit courses.
Mm. You don't
Because
have to
I
go
had
to those.
I taken all my requirements.
Yeah.
And
Chill.
so I just had time for electives and stuff like that. Maybe 1 or 2 serious classes, but even then, attendance was really mandatory, and I did well in those.
Yeah. Yeah.
So wasn't complaining too much, and so I didn't need to go anywhere.
Yeah. Sounds good. No, but I told you that story to illustrate how well I did in on the test, like how much better I
You want
am
me to are you
than
fishing
the
for
people.
compliments? I have a fishing pole downstairs. I can bring it down.
I just wanted you to say good job
I'm
on
proud of you,
passing
son.
the test. Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
proud of you.
And vice versa, I'm proud of you. Sounds, the whole story that you told, it was really, really inspiring. Glad you're doing, really glad you're doing well. And hopefully we'll get to see each other like in person soon because that hasn't happened in a while. But in the meantime, let's keep in touch and we're going to play some games. I'm sure we can set something up.
You're 21 now, right?
Yeah, dude, that happened like a year ago. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, you got a young face. I got to double check.
I know. The last time I saw you, I wasn't 21. So
that's true.
That has
and when
changed.
We went out to bars, like you can never come, which is the saddest part.
Yeah.
I always advocated, like off the record, getting faked, but man.
No. I was content being like the designated driver and walking people home because I've seen a lot of shit shows go down before.
You weren't designated driver. You were designated phone holder.
I know. Yeah, I was holding the phones. It's fine. I was studying my ass off. I was trying to get into Haas. I was a nice kid back then. How has time changed? All right.
I know.
Anyways, well, again, glad you're doing well, and we're gonna set something up. Hop on in my stream sometime, and we'll play some Warzone. But thank you for taking the time.
Give me your name. I don't even know your username.
Oh no, hang on. Yeah, speaking of Twitch names, what was your Twitch name? Because I want to put it as like the name for you for this video.
I mean, you could use my my Twitch name was Sitaras. It's Sitaras.
Okay, what's that mean?
That means stars in Urdu.
Okay, that's boring.
/ Hindi.
That's boring. I thought it was gonna be like Chick Slayer, like 69, or something like that.
Well, I am taken, so I cannot put these names as
it's
contract.
It's just a stream name,
Because if I ever made it, I don't want to be known in the future as Chick Slayer 69.
Yeah, it's Chick Slayer. How you doing? No,
it used to be something different. It used to be a Soulframe, I think, is the name I had.
Yeah, Soulframe.
Or Rika.
On Fortnite.
Yeah, I think that used to be my name, and then I eventually switched to Sitaras because when I switched to streaming, one of the advice I got from there was one of the streamers that I watched. He did like an AMA. He's got like 500-600 viewers, so it's not that many, but he was doing an AMA on streaming tips and stuff like that. And I had asked him at the time, like in his chat, I was like, hey, listen, man, what do you recommend for names? Because some people have like very catchy or like easy to go with names. Like that's part of being a streamer is that like Dr. Disrespect, Cloaksy, Tifu, Ninja, Tim the Tap Man. Their names have like that ambience of creativity, and they're very easy in the sense that like you to remember off the top of your head.
Yeah. What do you think my name should be? Right now, it's just called some call like Random Gaming, which is so generic. But I made the channel like 3 years ago, so I didn't bother changing it. I don't even know if you can.
What's the name of the podcast?
It's called ChowDownChou.
ChowDownChou. Why don't you just call yourself ChowDownChou? There's nothing wrong with that.
I do have that on my Twitch name, but I have like both. So I upload my gaming stuff on another channel. So
I think you should just keep ChowDownChou. I think that's a good name.
Thank
It's
you.
very easy, like, to remember. It's got some creativity to it.
It
And
does.
like, like ChowDownChou, like people be like, oh, like you got like a YouTube channel, be like, yeah, and then they go and see, and it's not just gaming. It's like podcasts and mukbang and all this other shit.
Mukbang. All right, there's a lot of stuff going
Oh,
on.
we could do a mukbang. That'd be
We
fun.
should. Yeah, like a Zoom eating thingy.
Yeah.
We could, and I could. I don't know. Do you have like Asian grocery markets over there? Like I could tell you to go buy something.
I think there's a Chinese grocery market just opened up near my house, and I've been meaning to go there because I want to see if they have cow. Okay, Calpico is a Japanese drink, but this is an Asian grocery market, so I want to actually go see if they have it, and if they do, fuck yeah. If they don't, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Next thing is to see if they have egg pudding, because I know some Asian egg puddings, man, they're great.
Yeah, I'll tell you to go buy some and try to eat it, and you'll tell me to go buy something to try to eat it, and we'll make a video.
Do they have Indian food places in Taiwan?
I don't know. What is that?
Indian food places.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Tons of them.
Okay.
Just let me know what to buy.
Exchange.
Yeah. Like a cultural exchange, food exchange, and we'll film ourselves eating it. I'm down. I got nothing else to do.
Brandon and Dom in this too. Probably Brandon. I don't know if Dom would be down for this.
Dom holds himself in too high a regard to do anything like that. Like, he thinks he's like floating above all of us, So it's
Dom's got a job, okay?
He does, yeah.
Dom's got a job. He's one of the better looking guys in our group. I will say that.
Yeah, well.
I'm slowly catching up. It's okay.
Thank you.
We're slowly catching up.
Yes, we.
Brandon's got his top knot. I don't know how I feel about that still.
I don't know. It looks.
We need to have an intervention.
Yes, for sure. We're gonna call him out of blue. We need to do something about that. I haven't seen it like in
it's
actual
long.
form yet. I'm sure because he hasn't cut his hair yet. But I'll call him and we'll figure something out. No, but
you got the Asian dad look down though.
I know, but I'm down for that video idea. I'll make something happen. That should be fun.
Yeah.
All right.
And then when your channel blows up, I'm gonna make my channel and then co-stop of your success.
Okay. Yes. No problem.
We could be like the old Van Oz. We could be like a
Van Oz gaming crew. Yeah.
You're and they still play together.
Yeah. You're gonna be like a Wildcat or someone who just like who has all his followers because he appears in those videos. Yeah. No, but you're gonna have to.
I love Wildcat. That's one of the channels that I am subscribed to. And I don't subscribe to many gaming channels.
All right, let me think of a better example. Someone like Panda.
Yes.
Panda.
When I started watching Big Jiggly Panda first, like he was in the videos, I thought he was just some like they just got some dude to come in and start yelling and stuff like that.
I know.
Gradually, his content has gotten better.
Yeah.
So, like when they first did, it was just him yelling, and I was like, dude,
he's so loud.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, we could make that crew happen if this blows up, but we'll see. All right, I'll let you know once this episode is up, and share it to all your 79 cousins and your 68.
I'll put on my LinkedIn. My last LinkedIn post has 16,000 views.
Wow. So. See, because it's one of those LinkedIn posts that's like all positive. It's like when I see someone post on LinkedIn like a year ago, I didn't have no legs. A year later, I had an Amazon internship. I'm like, yeah, what does that have to do with me? Like, yeah, but I'm compelled to comment. Oh, great job,
Yeah.
Good.
Listen,
great to see your story.
Every post I share, they're usually job posts and other posts, but they also get good views.
Yeah.
I think.
Once you have a post blow up, like people are gonna like.
Yeah.
Connect.
I think average views I get on a post would probably be around 1,000. Maybe.
Nice. All right, put it on your LinkedIn. Be like.
Watch me share my. I can't ruin my professional brand like that.
No. This is what I'm gonna do. All right, I'm gonna cut it down. I'm gonna cut it into clips, and there's gonna be a clip where you share your story, like all positive. It's all positive, and share that and say, I share my journey to Amazon internship with comedian Derek.
I think I'll have to do it a little bit better because I probably just like sped through it here, but definitely.
Now, you try and watch it and share it. Give me some of the clicks. That would be much appreciated.
I think you're doing well. You got a good camera. You got good lighting. You got a good mic.
I know.
You got every aspect. Now is your computer good enough to game? Or do you game on your PC?
I just game on my PS4. But I have
you stream from your PS4, right?
Exactly. I stream from my PS4. I have to, really commit. Like, the thing is, I feel like this takes a lot of hard work, and I'm also like doing some side jobs, so it's not like I'm not like fully in it. So I gotta get like fully in it. But once I get fully in it, it's gonna blow up. Watch me. Year later.
No, dude, I think you'll do great. I think like you don't even have to put all your effort into it immediately. Try it out, right? Because you don't want to put all your eggs into one basket, right?
That is true. And plus, like, I don't even know how I feel about like actually being like big. Like, I don't know. I just want to do it for fun.
When you get more than like average 200 viewers a video, you're a good streamer at that point.
Yeah.
Not 200 viewers per stream. At that point, I wouldn't say you can quit your job, but you can start easing up on like some of your hours and stuff like that.
I know.
Eventually, when you hit like 1,000, because you get like $5 per subscriber, and you have 1,000 viewers, then you're basically making like what, like 3,000 a month almost, like after taxes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
3,500.
Pretty good. Yeah. So I was, I have a friend who's also has a YouTube channel, and I was looking through his channel, and he has like every one of his videos has like couple thousand views, and I'm like, dude, what am I doing?
Dude, hey, like I know I always see this in the YouTube comments. I always see like an account named "Get Me to 5,000 subscribers without any videos," and then I click on their profile, and the guy has like 4,000 subscribers with no videos.
I know. So you just have to
commenting on videos and stuff.
I know. So you have to like, there are ways to like market it, right? I just haven't done any of it. Like I haven't even marketed to like my own friends. Like probably only a few knows this thing exists, but I should, because it comes down to pride. I was like, oh, what if people laugh at my voice? It's the Dom situation all over again. It's like being too afraid to put yourself out there.
Forget Dom. Okay, listen. I feel like having humility gets you far. Yes. I like if I play games, or even some of the I've been playing games with some of the other interns, and like I'm the one that's usually loud or being like cracking jokes, and I have no issues with that. I always told myself, like, when I was in high school, I was worried about like what people thought of me. Like, I was a class clown. I tried to make. I was even one of the popular kids at the time, and I thought, like, you know what, like that's good, but. Eventually, I just started realizing that like that's not as fun. Like it's like
it doesn't matter.
Enjoying myself, I do things that I like doing, and gradually the people that will like gravitate towards me or like I'll surround myself with will be people that are similar. You know?
Yeah. So what you're saying is you like not responding to texts while taking care of your cats.
Derek.
Okay.
My kitten, Cookie, is the love of my life. Who is right now underneath my bed, actually. I don't know where she is, but...
What color is she?
I showed you her. She's the brown one.
Oh.
So the orange one is my brother's. The brown one, technically, they're both my brothers, or they're my families, because my brother is going to live here.
Yeah.
But,
I only saw the orange one, so...
Oh,
we can end the... You know what? End the episode on showing the cat's face.
Let me grab her.
Yeah. Grab her, and then we're done. Oh, that's so cute. Cookie, how are you doing?
Thing ever. She was sleeping, actually. I'm so sorry.
Oh, how old is she?
She is 7 weeks old.
She's adorable.
Yeah, she purrs when you pet her and stuff, but I just woke her up, so I'm actually going to go put her back to sleep.
All right, go. We're done, Maaz. Oh, actually, just put her back. All right. Well, I'll let you get back to your cat. Now I get it. But thank you for taking the time, and we shall connect.
Man, this is fun. Honestly, kind of weird at first, but I thought this was fun.
Yeah, it was fun, right? All right.
I shaved for this in the morning.
Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Later, dude.
Congratulations. You've made it through the video. Now, go subscribe to all the links down below, comment, and hit that like button, and I will see you all in the next one.